Hello, everyone. It's Jeremy Osterberger with BIC Magazine. I'm joined by Ben Davis, Vice President of Sales for Setpoint Integrated Solutions. Ben, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
It is fun, man. So I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna have a good time and talk a little shop and talk a little bit about you too. So Ben, I'm gonna define your role as kind of overseeing day-to-day activities. I mean, inside sales, outside sales, technical sales, a little bit of marketing, and order fulfillment, which is important when you have clients. Your corporate structure, Ben, has about 150 people across two business units. Did I kind of summarize your role pretty good there?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Yeah.
That's great. But so for folks that maybe aren't familiar with SetPoint's full suite of services, tell our audience a little bit about SetPoint Integrated Solutions, and there may be some things that folks don't know that you provide.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, we're kind of unique. So we have two different ways that we kind of go to the market. We have our service side of the business, which is a big piece of what we do, and we have our new product sales, and then we do some remanufacturing and also some manufacturing of products as well. So we have multiple outlets to the market, but really what we do is we are OEM and product driven, and so we represent top tier products. We support them with top tier services, right? And so that's a big piece of what we do. Like we try to add value into any product that we're selling, and then we like to think that we're an expert in anything that we're going to touch or sell, right? So a lot of like solution selling is what we do, and our structure is set up to support that.
So Ben, talk a little bit about the market. There are competitors, there are other companies that provide what you provide, but dig into what are your real solutions? Who really appreciates what Setpoint brings to the table, and then how do you differentiate yourselves?
Sure. So yeah, we do. I mean, it's a very competitive market. So we have competitors that are maybe a little bit more niche, whereas we may be a little bit broader and touch multiple market segments. And so, obviously, a lot of what we're doing is going into the midstream petrochemical, chemical refining space. Power is a big piece of what we do, but we even get into things like food and beverage. We're going after the semiconductor space right now. So we really do like our products touch a pretty broad range of customers, which obviously it's interesting, provides a lot of challenge, when you're touching a lot of different market segments. For us, we kind of organize ourselves around verticals. So the products
Right.
that we sell will fit in different verticals, right? And so we are known for our control valve vertical. We have our pressure relief vertical, right? Doing all kinds of pressure, like safety relief valves, low pressure systems, things like that. We've got our isolation valve and automation group. And then we have our instrumentation and distributed products group, right? So a lot of instrumentation that flows to that group. And so all of our OEMs that we represent kind of fit in one of those four verticals. And then we, like I said, we service all the products as well that we sell.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and you and I have talked in the past too. I mean, clean room work, or control valve repair, pressure safety valve repair, like you mentioned, on-site and in-line repair. That's got to be something attractive at these times, and even on the startup and commissioning side of things, right, is where you guys see some opportunity as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so when you say what differentiates, Set Point from maybe the competition, we have 300 technicians here in the
Hmm.
Gulf Coast. Those technicians are trained the same, so they can be allocated anywhere across our footprint, and we can service our customers. So when our customers have large outages, we have the ability to, allocate assets wherever they're needed, right? And they can go into any of our facilities and they can operate. All of our technicians are certified to certain levels, so they can only, they do certain things based off their training. And so, at the end of the day, what it is like when our customers are getting a product or a service from us, it should be the highest quality, right? And that's really what it says when it leaves these doors. It's we want everything to be perfect, and that's what we strive to do. And so I think that's what the huge differentiator for us is. We have 14 locations here along the Gulf Coast, all those technicians, well trained, and career paths for everyone in the organization. And I think our customers notice, right? And so we don't ever kind of to ourselves as being the low cost leader. That's not what we're trying to do. But a lot of our customers are looking for quality solutions to problems. A lot of these problems could be expensive problems,
Yep.
expensive outages. So they need somebody that they can trust, that they know like the job's going to get done right. It's going to be safe, right? The quality is going to be there. So those things are really valuable to them. And that's what we really strive to do, is to add value by doing those things.
So been Setpoint seen some significant growth here over the past few years. Let's get into those contributing factors, and what do you feel is contributing to that success?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and it has we've been growing strong. So our roots, which I think we'll get into a little bit, we're based out of originally based out of Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got great roots. We've been doing this for 65 years, but we've been growing in Louisiana. Now we've been growing a lot here in Texas and other areas along the Gulf Coast. And I think the greatest thing, or the one thing that attributes to that, is we've increased our sales force. So I think we're out in front of customers much more than maybe we had been in the past. And then also, like, I go back to our service capabilities. Like I tell people, sometimes we feel like we know more about our customers' valves than they do, and that's okay, because we're digging in these valves all the time. We document them, right? So the things that we touch, we really have a strong history. We know what we're doing, and so a lot of times it's hard to find a solution we can't provide to a customer when it comes to valves, their instrumentation, actuators, right? Because we can do so much.
Right. No, and I want to dig into that history too. I mean, organic growth, but there's also been inorganic growth, right? Get into some of the history. I mean, I always think back from Louisiana. I'm from there. Your DMC and Carter Chambers, right? Is that kind of where things started? Go into the history of Setpoint from an acquisition standpoint, if you
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a pretty long history. So to keep it, somewhat brief,
Yeah.
so our history goes back to 1959, and that was Carter Chambers. That's when they were formed. And then, you kind of like fast forward into the 80s, and that's when DeSalle Maggart formed. And then, Carter Chambers, there were some acquisitions happening along the way. And so both those companies were just growing, and they eventually grew together, right? So in 2010 is when DeSalle Maggart and Carter Chambers merged, and then they were rebranded in 2014 into Setpoint, and so we were owned for a while there by Pawn, and we were part of PVI Holdings, and then recently we were acquired about a year and a half ago by private equity. But yeah, it's over those 65 years, there's been growth in Louisiana, there's been expansion into other states. Now we have almost just as big of a presence here in Texas as we do in Louisiana. And so it's been exciting. I think the history of the company is fantastic. It really resonates, I think, in the culture. And one of the things that blew me away, when I joined the company 4 years ago, is the tenure of the people. We've got folks who've been with us a long time. We're celebrating 40-year anniversaries, 35-year anniversaries all the time.
Awesome.
And I think that speaks to the culture. And I think that is what our culture is in many ways. It's folks who are passionate about what they do. They love being here, right? And they've been here a long time, and it's extremely valuable. And now it's great to see talent coming in and meshing with all that experience, right? I think it's a good combination that we have going right now.
No, that's great. And I guess when we talk about our history, we need to jump to the future too. What's the focus here, Ben? I'll go kind of short term, and then if you want to take it long term, go ahead. Talk where you think things are headed here, and the partnerships that you're making now, and even recent announcements. What will we see from Setpoint in the next, let's just say, 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. And you're right. So I think the name of the game for everyone is you want to grow, right? And it's like, well, how? So, for us, we want to expand our service offerings, and we want to continue to grow that way. I think you're going to see us also, beyond just expanding what we can do on the service side. We'll start introducing some lines here and there if they make sense and complement what we're doing. I think where we're unique too is, we've grown, but we're not there. Like we still have lots of room to grow with the customers we're doing work with today. We have such a broad offering. We can't be everything to everybody, but we can do a lot, right? And so
Yes.
there's still a lot more penetration that we can do in the markets we're serving and with the customers we're taking care of today.
Cool.
We got a lot to offer. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we recently added a line. It's Protego, right? It's in the low pressure relief segment. It fits in our pressure relief group. They're a great line. We're really excited. Once again, it's a top tier product. So, really well recognized globally, kind of a leader, I think, as far as innovation goes. Low emissions, which is going to be a big deal,
Yep.
in the US. It's already big in Europe. We're seeing it in the US. So we feel like we're kind of getting ahead of the game there. But once again, like we just always want to make sure that Setpoint, our brand, is aligned with other top brands, and that's how we go to market.
Yep. Makes tons of sense. So, one of the most important aspects of of operating, I guess, in this sort of downstream refining petrochemical space, and like you said, the midstream space as well, is look, we're all seeing workforce challenges. There's been lots of retirements and exodus of a lot of experience from contractor companies, buyers, suppliers. What is Setpoint doing managing workforce issues, and how are you setting yourself up to progress through these challenges here in the next even year or two? Right, it's almost immediate, right? So talk a little bit about that if you would, Ben. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, and we see it too. We've got a lot of experience that's retiring, right? Like, that experience leaves with them, and you hope that they've imparted as much of that as possible. But the time in the saddle matters, right, in this industry.
Right.
And so, what we've done is we definitely have hired and made an emphasis on hiring kind of a diverse workforce. So diverse as far as the age goes and experience, and the goal being that we have succession plans. And I mentioned it earlier, our technicians we have a really robust technician training program, but we actually have training programs for really all of our departments.
Cool.
So if you're a production coordinator, inside sales, outside sales, you really do have a career path. You have a level progression, right? And so you can learn a lot here through those career paths, those training programs that we've built internally. And I think that's kind of like part of the secret sauce for us is, we can develop folks and they can have a really long career. I think that at the end of the day, that's what people really want too, right? Most people want to come in, they want to be happy, they want to enjoy where they're working, but they also want to know they have a future, right? Like they have a career path at the place they're at. If not, they're going to go find one somewhere else. And so that's what we're really trying to do is retain our good people, our talent, by ensuring they've got a career path. They can move up, they can move around, and there's a way to progress in our organization, which I think is exciting.
No, that's awesome, Ben. Well, so Ben, let's get into a couple things personal. You're originally from where, Ben?
So I call Houston home. I did live when I was younger in Louisiana for about 6 years, but for the most part, I say I grew up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And your education background is interesting. So you went to BYU, Brigham Young University. Is that correct? Is that where you got your bachelor's?
Yeah. So I did a degree, not a traditional background, but I did a degree one in political science. I did another degree in Russian because I had learned Russian when I was younger.
Oh my!
And so I wouldn't say not a typical business background, but it just shows the diversity you have in our industry, right? You can study a lot of different things and still stumble into this and have a great career.
Oh, right. Cool. Yeah. Can you still speak any Russian? Like, do you still have that capability?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I still have a lot of friends over there. Like times are a little bit tough right now in that region, really concerning. But yeah, we've got plenty of friends that we still keep in touch with. And I do the best I can to keep up the Russian. It's a little hard, but I do the best I can.
A little bit different from the English we speak here, so that's a little different.
Just
That's cool, man.
bit.
Yeah, and then you got your master's from Tulane, right down in New Orleans, and then you have another master's from A&M. Is that correct? So.
Yeah, that's correct. So once I kind of got started in the industry and realized that I was more interested in the business world, I did go back and went to Tulane, got my MBA, and then several years after that, I went to A&M and did a Master of Industrial Distribution. And so, I think those degrees definitely helped kind of add a little bit more of an academic side to the practical side that I'd already been a part of. And so, I think they're just really additive to the experience I was getting, real world experience, and it was nice to pick up those 2 degrees as well.
That's cool, man. I think all those experiences to, kind of makes who we are, right? So your diversity in your education background is really cool. That's interesting. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to everyone, it just goes to show, like, I meet people all the time with different degrees, different backgrounds, in this industry. And I think it's awesome. Like when you find it and you like it, there's, you don't have to come from a certain background, but you can really have a great career. And for me, the past 17 years has been fantastic.
No, man, that's cool, Ben. Well, I appreciate our relationship and thanks for jumping on with us today. Look, let's keep these conversations going as news and notes come out of Setpoint. Our audience wants to hear about it. So really cool. A little bit on the background. I don't know if everyone really knows the full background of Setpoint. I think that was important to cover. And of course, where you guys are headed is always important. What's up next is everyone wants to know. So thank you, Ben, for jumping on with us today and appreciate you hanging out on the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
And for everyone watching, we thank you so much for participating. Remember, for more videos, news, projects, and podcasts, visit bicmagazine.com. Remember, everybody, it's what we do together that counts.